Player number 73, Robert Bray. Player number 77, Stephen Ballard. The head coach is Ernie Nieras. The referee is Mendiola. The assistant referees are Katie Mendiola and Ryan Flores. The fourth official is August Milafuentes II. The referee assessor is Christian Dane Soriano. The match commissioner is Paula Carmina Cervantes. This match is under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusement Board.
And it is on to our second game of the day right here at the Binyan Football Stadium. And it is your Philippines Football League action between Mendiola FC 1991 and Stallion Laguna. A team, of course, that would call this place home. And as of late, our games have been played right here, and Laguna will look to take full advantage of that as they are out to not just win the title, but out to also clinch seats to play in overseas competitions. Mendiola, on the other hand, out to kickstart this tournament because it has been a very difficult campaign for them. But let's take a look at our league table, and Manila Digger continues to lead the pace, or now dictate the pace, but you could say it is provisional because Kaya FC Iloilo and Dynamic Herb Cebu are actually playing as we speak. Their game kicked off at 6 o'clock, and we'll look to update you also on how that game is going. And when we look at it, there is Stallion Laguna just outside the top four. Top four because the name of the game is to make it to the final series, and the top four teams will clinch tickets to that aforementioned part of our tournament, wherein we will have a knockout stage to determine the champion. And then Mendiola FC 1991 are struggling at the moment and are at the bottom side of the table. And we did say they need to kickstart this tournament or their form because it hasn't been looking good as of late. And let's take a look at our starters for Mendiola. There's new players with Ndongo, Muero, and Kigundu. And then Hamed, as expected, will pull the strings in the midfield for them. We did see a great number of their players depart already, despite of them just joining the team very recently, come to think of it. And it will be Halog playing in goal for them, and he's been on a roll as of late right here for Mendiola FC. But we'll look at Stallion Laguna's formation in a bit also, just to gauge how Coach Ernie's crew will be lining up. And there is OJ Portoria and Phil McDaniel playing up front, and then Takatoku is in the midfield, and he's with the usual suspects, Shrak Sandra Schaffner and Juan Galeana Trujillo. And then Halm will be anchoring the defense at the back end. As expected, it's the usual name and face of Roberto Llamas manning the posts right here. And we see Sitog Schaffner being listed here in a slightly central location. We assume that he will actually be playing at his usual wing-back position, and maybe Takatoku will be in the midfield. That is how the team of Coach Ernie will be lining up. And there's some new names also on the bench. We did intro Claudio actually in their last game. But there's also Robert Coy and Stephen Banner. They are listed as foreigners. It is your match number, or it is your 62nd match again of the Philippines Football League. And it's a lovely evening right here at the Binyan Football Stadium. And a big thank you for joining us on matchdate.ph. This is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this game. And both teams are in the opposite ends of the standings, but it's 3 points here that they are gunning for at the end of the day, or regardless of their standings at the moment. And these are teams with a rich histories respectively, and they will look to get a win here, of course, under the Saturday night lights. Who will head home with the 3 points? Well, Stallion will want to keep it. But who will be smiling once they pack up and call it a day? We will find out right here. Well, Manila Digger earlier today did bag a sensational 7-1 victory over the youth national team. And that result again allowed Digger to get the best goal difference and become actually the number one team in terms of scoring. Stallion Laguna in the middle and out to play catch up. And if they do get the win, they will elevate to 4th place. And then Wontagig with a match in hand will have the pressure to win in their next game. But it's Stallion Laguna again and Mendiola FC squaring off for this one. Here we go, our respective team captains. There's Ahmed Hajimadi for Mendiola FC having a light moment with referee Chris Mark Nanyola with the toss coin. That's why it's laughs here and smiles at the half line. And it is Finn McDaniel who is captaining Stallion Laguna. And our referees, it is Chris Mark Nanyola, as we mentioned. Siya po ang lead natin ngayon. Sila KB Nanyola at Ryan Clores ay ang ating assistant. Si Aldous Mirafuentes ay ang fourth official. Si Christian Dale Soriano ay ang referee assessor. At si Paula Carmina Cervantes ay ang ating match commissioner. Interesting that Finn McDaniel is wearing the armband now, because last time around it would be Nieras who would wear it, despite of Finn McDaniel being around. And let's recall also that Stallion Laguna are playing against their former captain and club legend in Balot Doctora. This is not the first time, because the teams, or the two teams, did get to play weeks back, and there was a touching tribute that Stallion paid to Balot by giving him a jersey with the number 9, his number of the team, and it said legend at the back. As Balot once more will face the team he spent a long time with again. It hasn't been smooth sailing for Mendiola this entire season, but Balot joining should be a boost on paper. And we did see that Mendiola bagged an upset win versus Loyola FC to end Loyola's winning run, as Hamed and Kuya Shraki are having a light moment. And Finn McDaniel out again for his bounce back game. Because he did accumulate yellow cards and then missed the last match of Laguna versus the youth national team. But players did step up with the absence of Finn McDaniel when it comes to offense. But Laguna did struggle defensively, as their squad was without that man with the ball, Stephen Hum. He did serve a suspension after racking up 2 yellow cards in one of their previous games. That game actually where Ham was suspended, we did see that Stallion had to use a makeshift backline. And then there's a whistle in the midfield. And Mueru, just a minute or barely a minute into the game, already unhappy with the way things went on quickly. There was a booking already. Sea Dog to Shraki, where it was stopped by Mueru. But the build-up continues. McDaniel got it, definitely in an onside position. Ricky Sendra. Sendra, as we know, wants it to be a business day every time they play. And this ball will be a goal kick. We did see that Stallion ran out of space while trying to bring it down for a cutback. Halog, as we've said, also had or has been on a roll as of late. That clean sheet versus Loyola FC. Mendiola did win 1-0, and it was a penalty put away by Hamed. Hamed excels, of course, with free kicks, and he has the technical ability. But given his ability to score off free kicks, also no surprise that it translated over to penalties for him. So Mendiola will resume play at the back. But when we looked at the standings, it hasn't been good for Mendiola FC, because they are at the bottom. With Mendiola being at that spot also, it's been difficult for them to get points. But with Stallion's usual players back, there's that fine-tuned backline once more. He couldn't get it to one because it was intercepted by Keith Dolan. He could not connect with Uy or Hamed over on the right side. So there's some frustration already. We did hear in the early stages of the of this edition of the PFL that Mendiola did have limited training sessions. And Koichi looking for options as he played it to Shraki. Shraki got it back from Belgira. He's up against Timothy Uy. But the defense there did enough to stop him. Mashraki was just having a chat or was barking out some instructions at Ricky Sendra. And the feedback will definitely help that duo if they want to succeed. But what's difficult for Mendiola is they just picked up new foreigners recently. And then a number of them do not seem to be the team anymore. So it's a new batch. So there will be chemistry building again. Although we say that, Mendiola again did get that 1-0 victory over Loyola. One, they floated it in. It was off the crossbar. It was cleared off. They wanted to get it over to their teammates. Sendra. There was a defensive header though by Renya. Here's a look at that replay. And Finn McDaniel got his head to it. And Joshua Halog did come up with that fingertip save. And he put that ball just slightly above or slightly off target. And that hit the post, or the crossbar rather. Here comes a Shraki corner. We do recall when Shraki had that stretch in late 2019 and early 2020 where he delivered these corner kicks that were awkward for opposing goalkeepers to handle. As this was a ball that was secured by Halog once more. Get it wide to the left. Oche Portria trying to help out at the back. And succeeds. And we are going to see a throw-in from Matt near us. Here's the cross. Definitely on target here by Phil McDaniel. But the power definitely lacking. And with that, Halog will just take his time to take any momentum away from this Stallion squad at the moment. It's also great that Mendiola did bounce back or did get that win over Loyola, because it was a bounce back win or result because they got clobbered by Mendiola FC 10-0. They get it inside now. They cut it back. Read well by the defense. Finn McDaniel collects. It didn't work out there. It was almost won by the Stallion midfield. It will go the way here of Mendiola, the brave man. Just getting that one up slowly but surely. It'll still be a throw-in. And let's recall also Fahmi Ibrahim is serving his suspension. He did pick up 2 yellows and hence got a red versus youth national team. Galiana Trujillo trying to keep it despite the traffic. But this one to no man's land. Stephen Helm will chase. Yuki Takatoku. Shraki flicked it. I think that caught everyone by surprise. And it will be that slow process of resuming play. We mentioned again it's because Mendiola out to take momentum away that Stallion's been able to pick up. Nahalog was with Maharlika in the first half of the season. Sea Dog Schaffner got his head to it. Galiana Trujillo up against Idulan. And that was a Japanese connection they're trying to go for with Yuki and Koichi. Bilgira got it back from Shraki. Shraki in tight space. Did get beaten. Something now being drawn up by Mendiola. It's on the left now. Nagmamadali sila. The cross. So the middle, but at the edge of the area, as the shot is well skied. And Isaac Mueru got his boot to that ball. Definitely had too much power. It's a back 3 for Laguna. They did struggle in that instance. So Mendiola will look to counter as they shoot, but Roberto Llama saw it was definitely wide. No angle in that instance already for Alan Kigundu. Kigundu's playing in that winger position in the 4-3-3. He is at the tip of that attack, obviously. Stephen Helm. Christian Sea Dog Schaffner. Galiana Trujillo. Trying to flick it. There's a video of Galiana Trujillo playing basketball also, nailing a half-court shot. He did joke that he intends to change sport. Finn McDaniel sends it with his right. He has that ability also to send or make services. And Halog again will resume. Here was this free kick from Finn McDaniel. Just couldn't reach a teammate. That's why he went out. Throw in. It was off of Timothy Oy. It will go the way of Stallion. Simultaneously, actually, they're in the second half, to be precise. It's Cebu FC and Kaya FC Iloilo. And they're squaring off over at Cebu. Top teams of the league going at it also. No call there. So the backward Halog will stretch Mendiola's formation with him in possession. Gundu getting up slowly but surely, but I spoke too soon. The switch to Galiana Trujillo. The intention was there. Execution was, you could say, on point. It almost did not connect with him. And Kigundu. Takatoku couldn't get it. And then Mendiola will build up at the back now. Mueru collected in the midfield and gave it to his teammates at the back. Playing alongside Renya, there is Habila, who was in the center back role. Koichi out to Sea-Dog Schaffner. And Sea-Dog switches it. That's from the west coast to the east coast, given where they live. As Shiraki almost got to score. We thought for a moment that was good. Halog, of course, had the better vantage point, has the wisdom, so it was no good. And Shiraki's been on a roll also for Stallion when you talk about informed players. And there's Halog right here for Mendiola, the brave men, their goalkeeper as of late. Almost a quarter of an hour into this game. It is Stallion Laguna in pink and white. And there's actually trims of blue on their jersey. And then Mendiola FC in red, white, and black. Both teams donning their iconic or customary colors for this match. These teams actually predated the Philippines Football League era. They did compete also in the United Football League. And that was the league, of course, right before the PFL. And Renya trying to get some yards in this free kick. Referee Chris Mark Nanyola just waving, telling them to put it back. Here comes the long ball. Roberto Llamas got this one. Trying to distribute quickly. That was looking promising, actually, but the back line read it well. It just ends up going to the opposing keeper. Here's some pressure. One wanted to win it in the attacking end. Sifenham versus Balot. Schaffner from Takatoku. Shaki gave it to Takatoku again. Jose Porteria. Will he unleash his speed and agility here? He's got that dribbling ability, as we know. And we don't say turn back the clock because he never lost it. As this is over from Finn McDaniel. It was a close one, though. But the ball movement from Stallion paved the way to this one. I believe Stallion were saying it was last touch or a ball ricocheted off a Mendiola player. But our referee, Chris Mark Nanyola, did say otherwise. So Halo will opt to take this goal kick towards the other side now of the pitch. Earlier he was going for the right side, now it will be to the left. But Mendiola eventually secures. You can see how Kigundu, Tarsikyo, and Mueru have been able to change it up for them. But first they have to deal with this counter. As it was a stop, and Keith Edulan was there to the rescue. But it is Stallion knocking on the door at the moment. Halog, the busier keeper. Will he get back-to-back clean sheets? For Roberto Llamas and his team, yes. Yes, they got the win last time, but there was no clean sheet. Stallion actually in their last two games haven't been able to bag a clean sheet. Well, it's the brave men absorbing pressure. If they can keep this up for a long period, for the 90 minutes, it will be a massive result. But we do know that it is easier said than done. With modern day football, with your teams playing or utilizing possession. I believe that ball was mishit though from Razonable. Shraki. Finn couldn't secure. The but their midfield effort was able to do so. Schaffner playing narrow. Gets beaten by Hamed. Mohamed is in a coffin. Well, he let it roll out because he did know that it was last touch against Stallion Laguna. It'll be a throw-in. But Stallion looking to utilize or to put some pressure on that throw-in since he can only go so far. Not everyone has a long throw. As Koichi Belgira got into a collision with Hamed. And Hamed opted to play back. Struck in one, using their experience, making sure they cannot get forward. Halog gave it over to Ricky Sendra though. Porteria to Shraki. Turn back the clock with their connection back in the day with Ceres. Counter-attack time. This is where the brave men are dangerous. But Matt Nieras had that pass plotted out. It continues once more. Traffic right to left. So, not a good touch from Takatoku. Well, it's in the middle. Edulan. Edulan's been with the team for some time also. Galiana Trujillo over to Sea-Dog. Sea-Dog crosses it in, put it in a dangerous area. And Halog was slightly playing with fire, taking calculated risks at that moment. He knew what he was doing, of course. Goalkeepers have that ability to control the game again. And Halog tried to take advantage of that. All part of the game as Sendra shoots. Denied well by the back line. It was Habila in front of that. They're trying to bring it up behind Muero. Somehow Sea-Dog Schaffner ended the right side of the pitch, despite of him being their left back or left wing back. The brave men trying to get up slowly but surely, but it's been a bit more difficult for them compared to their counterparts. We are about 25% into this game already, and a big thank you for joining us right here on matchday.ph. This is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this game. It's Mendiola FC in red, white, and black. Stallion Laguna in pink, blue, and white. They're both in their customary colors. It seems it's Coach Niboy who's been active as of late in their technical area. And given that they have this opportunity to get forward, they want to fully utilize that. Yes, chances have been more limited for them when we refer to the brave men, but it's about using these chances, whether you get them in bulk or whether they come in limited quantity. And Mendiola are dangerous when it comes to free kicks. It's Hamed who leads the way for them when it comes to opportunities like that with his technical ability. But this is a difficult angle. It's more of an opportunity to cross the ball into or to to a teammate who is lurking. Here's the signal. Players making runs for the goal. It seemed to be taken low. Shot taken, blocked by the body, Stephen Ham. And then Mendiola just shoot this one way off target. That's gotta hurt though, because it was close, but not quite. Here was a look, and then it appeared to come off Mueru. And then it was Llamas, it seemed, not Stephen Ham. But play being stopped for Ham, who was pictured maybe from that awkward fall earlier when they were defending that set piece. Llamas now allowed to resume play. Takatoku with the defense of Mendiola there. Timothy Uy as that starting right winger, doing defensive duties understandably, given it's Laguna with the initiative in this game. This one was bouncing and went to Ricky Sendra. He'll look to facilitate. Galiana Trujillo, 2 goals courtesy of 2 penalties. Laguna did win those penalties against the youth national team as a result of piling up the pressure against them. The ball in the dangerous area. That seemed to be too high though for Galiana Trujillo, the Mexican. But let's take a look at our statistics also for the teams and players competing this evening. Milan Beng and Domin Hamed are the leading scorers for Mendiola this season, 3 goals each. They'll need more of that from them or from any of their players if they want to climb up the table, given that they are at the bottom. But with Stallion Laguna, Finn McDaniel is their leading scorer, and he's their usual suspect or front man when it comes to offense. He is in joint 4th place in the top scorer or Golden Boot race. He's in joint 4th place with Rico Antes, and there's also Osman Guy with assists. Entering this day or this match day, Oli Bias is the leader, but we could expect this to change a bit because Ziggy Taninko did put up quite an effort when it comes to playmaking. But in the midst of things, there's a corner kick that will go the way of one Galiana Trujillo pictured, and Stallion Laguna. And the winds, as expected, continue to blow pretty much from the bottom right corner to this corner of Galiana Trujillo. He's taking bounces and then stopped though by Mueru. Well, Laguna got to keep it. This was awkwardly handled by a Mendiola player. Sendra cut it back low. And then it's a stop here for the brave men. But Stallion keeping that pressure up. Now when it comes to clean sheets, our tally still unchanged. The youth national team did get to score against Manila Digger and spoil their bid for a clean sheet. At that time, it was Mike Asong who started in goal. With our leaders when it comes to clean sheets, there's actually a 5-way tie in that category. Jesse Semblante, Yuya Koreyama, Roberto Llamas, John Badelic, and Tini Watara all have 4 clean sheets each. No one actually has been able to surpass Yuya Kuriyama, Digger's keeper, in the first half of this season. But Kuriyama did depart during the transfer window, which recently ended for the PFL from what we did here. Halog struggled with that volley, but it's due to conditions again. Though he is playing against the wind. So the wind favors Laguna. Later when you switch sides, or when they switch sides, these conditions will favor Halog and Mendiola FC. As there's an early sub already here for the Brave Men. And it is Yuta Tochigi who will enter. And then we have one of the relatively new players who will step off. But almost half an hour, and the Brave Men have been able to hold Stallion Laguna. And it is Tarsikyo who will step off. Half an hour of action. It's understandable that he's not that happy. And anyone who starts would like to play the full 90. Balot operating in tight space. Balot to Hamed. That's a combo they'll need also, other than Hamed and Milad. As they try to play it quickly to our fresh substitute. Not a fresh substitute, but it's Timothy Uy playing on the right wing. Offside was the call. It's now resumed by Matnieras. Belgira. Stephen Ham telling them to play down the left. Sees that there's openings. They have to give it back to him though. Takatoku. Mendiola getting up bit by bit. Could not play Balot Doctora though. Ham with the intention of helping the offense. That leaves them with this hole at the back despite of Sea Dog Schaffner covering. They lack the height here as there's the cross, and then Llamas gets this. It's part of the job to have that type of physique. And Roberto Llamas was not afraid to bang bodies. And Balot from distance, trying to test his former keeper. It's no good there. And let's get this also. Roberto Llamas, as we know, is one of Stallion's foreign players, the American El Salvadorian. And let's also recall, back in the ASEAN Mitsubishi Electric Cup, Javi Mariona, who is Filipino-American El Salvadorian, did introduce himself in style and played for the national team and picked up his first caps. As there is some shaking and baking from Shraki. We'll get with that story in a bit. Ricky Sandra from one. But no good. But it's a corner again. A great number of corners already in this game, going for the way of Coach Ernie Niaras' squad. And going back with that story of Roberto Llamas and Javi Mariona, given their El Salvadorian connection. As this Stallion shot was stopped, it's a corner kick. And Llamas did say he was trying to convince Javi Mariona to play here also. As one sent an outswinger, Ham the header. And denied, but OJ Porteria applauding that effort. We could see why. Stephen Ham wants to get on the score sheet. It's all part of it. Whether it be defending or scoring, Ham is that team player for them. And going back, Llamas did say he tried to convince Javi Mariona to come here and play in the PFL. We can definitely presume for Stallion. And Javi Mariona did sign a fresh contract to continue playing in the United States. After dealing with that stretch on defense, Halog will continue along with Mendiola. It was a foul, hence that ball, or it was a free kick that was taken actually inside the box, not inside that small box, the 6-yard box for goalkeepers. Koichi versus Timothy Oy. I believe I saw an outstretched elbow, but given away cheaply. Shiraki to 1. They're trying to make them pay. Galiana Trujillo looking for options. Finn McDaniel shoots, but doesn't score. But things favoring Mendiola as long as he goes or stays goalless. Because Stallion Laguna, the favored team in this game, have been on the attack. Here comes the corner. Halo couldn't get it, but his defense there also to help out. Takatoku. Porteria. It seems they switched up their wings. And it's OJ on the left. OJ got his pocket picked. Seems like he got hit also though by Edulan. So Porteria is down in the ground. OJ Porteria has spent some time playing overseas as an experienced Philippines international. As we did see Edulan get the finger wag and say, nope, that's not a foul. No foul here also. It rolled out to be possession for Mendiola, the Brave Men. As we have 10 minutes remaining and change. And we are only in the first half right here. You're catching this game on matchday.ph. This is Clara Manzano on call for this match. We are coming to you from the Binyan Football Stadium. Here's Halog having to deal with that again because of the tricky windy conditions. Porteria wants to take it quickly. Schaffner to OJ. It's the West Coast, East Coast connection again, as we've said. See Doug Schaffner from the West Coast in the USA. OJ Porteria from the East. Nieras to Takatoku. Ricky Sendra. Galiana Trujillo. The Argentina to Mexico combination. And stopped by the back line. It's Habila and Renia who are anchoring things again for the squad of Coach Dan. Hamed. Well, we did see it was a stop against Kigundu. And as expected, it's great to see the crowd roadside on the opposite end of the grandstand of the Binyan Football Stadium. You can actually watch from that point for free. If you want to join us at the grandstand, it is 150 pesos, and that is actually enough to catch all the PFL action or all the PFL games in one day. Now with the double header, people are able to maximize that ticket and catch two games. Earlier, we did see Manila Digger take a massive 7-1 victory over the youth national team. Sea Dog. OJ. That seemed to be tough. OJ couldn't connect there. So it's to be resumed once more. Eduran will take it down the line. Timothy Oy versus Koichi. Koichi got his boot to it. Shraki to Takatoku. Sirag Schaffner in traffic. They're playing through Stefan Schrock. They've been trying to open up Galiana Trujillo also. Galiana Trujillo and Noche Porteria. Both creative options in the wings. And then this one is out once more for a corner. That's been part of the ebb and flow of this game. Seven minutes and change remaining. Galiana Trujillo sends this. It came off though, of a defender. And then into the safe hands of Halog. You did see that a Mendiola player was not able to reach it despite of him swinging in hopes of clearing that ball. But Joshua Halog has your back. Let's take a look at that. It came off a Mendiola defender. Then they got numbers. Well, let me go quickly to the action once more. There's a foul that went the way of Laguna. And we have an update. It is actually 2-0 for Kai FC Iloilo over Dynamic Herb Cebu. That game being played in Cebu. Ascendra sends it in. Makes the defense pay. And the pressure there just pushed the Mendiola backline down. Ricky Sendra had space to shoot. Ricky making it a business day. That's what we got to see. Had enough space. Defense couldn't collect. Possibly that lack of chemistry with Mendiola just changing personnel over the transfer window. Despite of them signing up players recently, they dropped those players or they released those players. Got new personnel. So it's the challenge again of building chemistry, despite of us being in the middle of the season. But it's a goal for Ricky, the Argentinian. Galiana Trujillo. Shraki has the license to roam. Hamed overplayed it. Mendiola lacking some fine-tuning there. And don't you forget also there's international matches coming up. It will be later this month now that we are in the month of March. And we did see with the announcements online that the Philippines will play against Maldives on March 25. That will be at the New Clark Athletic Stadium. It will be the first game of the Philippines actually at that said venue. The Philippines was actually slated to travel to Maldives and play that game away. But Mr. Freddy Gonzalez, the team manager of our Philippine men's national football team, and say that Maldives asked for a swap because due to logistics or due to Ramadan, logistics did not allow Maldives to host that game. Well, let's see how this free kick from the right will develop. That'll be sent in early from Finn McDaniel. Got it into the goalkeeper box, definitely. It will be a throw-in. In attendance, when we talk about Finn McDaniel, are his two sisters, Chandler and Olivia. They did join us actually in the commentary panel as guest analysts. They did break down the action and share their knowledge in that game between Digger and the youth national team, as that ball was handled by Halog. A very routine for Joshua Halog in securing that ball. They do go through the motions of that, of course, in training. Stephen Hahn clearance. They hit it wide. Edulan. Balot. Surveys. Mueru. Switches it. Sees that there is space. They're making the defense work. Ham did stop that from getting to Hamed, but the shot taken, but it is off. The referee points to the corner here, and Kigundo came close. Ham is down again. We did see him stop or intercept that ball for Hamed, and it seems he got hit down low. A low blow, as we say sometimes. Hamed. We've seen better deliveries from him. Mendiola are keeping it in the danger zone. Nearest the clearance, collided with a player. But offside is the call, according to our linesman. And let the mind games begin. It seems that Rocky wasn't very happy with something from Isaac Mueru over at the half line. Where that was while Mueru was making it to the half line rather. Let the mind games, let the verbal games begin. But it was played short by Llamas. Takatoku to Shraki. Hits it long to Galiana Trujillo. What will Galiana Trujillo do? Well, gets them another corner kick. But to the relief of Stallion, they lead 1-0 again thanks to the effort of Ricky Sendra. But Laguna sniffing or expecting more goals given that they've been on the attack. But if you're Mendiola, the way this game is going, they've been trying to pounce on the counter. Here comes the service, headed. But there is a foul as we have 1 minute of additional time. And Halog gets it going again. And when we switch sides, Mendiola will play with the wind favoring them. That does not separate, or that is not the reason why, or that is not how our teams were separated, but it's definitely part of the conditions that our players have to deal with on the pitch. So the wind blowing from right to left pretty much. And Laguna taking advantage of that. Mendiola playing against the wind. So swap that later on after the halftime break. Interesting shot there of Balot Doctora. And this one just bounces over and out. That was a close one. Mendiola FC, we're playing with fire there. But it is the halftime break. Fen McDaniel and Stallion want more. But Hamed is furious. He's calling for a huddle right at the midfield. But it is 1-0 at the halftime break. Shraki there seems to be livid. But it is 1-0 again, as we've said. Ricky Senger, our goal scorer so far for this game. And we'll be back after this break.
We thank you all for coming today and encourage you to visit the Philippines Football League Facebook page and the official PFL website, pfl.org.ph. For more details on the Philippines Football League 2024-2025, the passion, the power, the Philippine Football League on the rise. Use the hashtags. Hashtag PFL 2024-2025. Hashtag PFL on the rise. Hashtag support local food.
Currently at the halftime break and are closing in at kicking off the second half. It is 1-0 for Stallion Laguna, courtesy of Ricky Sendra. And Stallion continue to be slightly undermanned, or they continue to be undermanned, but it's much less than the previous games. But we'll take you through our highlights in a bit. But it is Fami Ibrahim, or the players missing are Fami Ibrahim, Mark Hartman, also Del Mundo, Placito, and Otoyemi. Placito still serving his suspension by my count, and then Del Mundo and Hartman have injuries. Fami Ibrahim also serving his suspension after picking up 2 yellows in that last game versus the youth national team. It's been mainly Laguna controlling the tempo in this game, and Mendiola pouncing on counterattacks here and there. And if they could tighten up, they could potentially challenge the goal, or they could potentially challenge Stallion goalkeeper in Roberto Liamas, who we saw here did get involved. Nothing happened there, of course. We did say the wind a factor, as Halo came up with a spectacular save. The wind favoring Laguna in the first half, and then in the second, things will change up, or will swap, of course, given that Mendiola will be attacking the other way now. As here is Ricky Sendra, who broke the ice and made it 1-0. There's the relief from that goal, more than joy and jubilation, because Stallion have been on the attack as of late. And Galiana Trujillo has been busy in this game delivering corner kicks. And given there's no Mark Hartman, Finn McDaniel has also been sending in services or deliveries when we refer to free kicks. And then there's Rocky pulling the strings. Before Mendiola, they are playing, or they are absorbing pressure on defense behind the center-back pairing of Renya and Habela. There's Halog playing in goal, who's been thrown into that number 1 role, but has been able to get up to speed because Mendiola, it seems, do not have Pema and Nasirizade anymore. But Galiana Trujillo couldn't get down. The defense got to stop him behind Razonable. Nieras could not get that, so it will go the way of Eljan. It is Mendiola FC in red and white, and they are in their black shorts and black socks. Stallion Laguna in pink, and we can actually clarify that's pink and violet to go with their white shorts and white socks. Both teams wearing their customary colors. Iconic looks, we could say. Iconic looks, because those are their iconic colors. And we did get confirmation from Cebu that it ended 2-1 full time. Kaya FC did defeat Dynamic Herb Cebu. There was a late goal from Rintaro Hama to make it 2-1 and spoil the clean sheet of Kaya FC Iloilo. But there are massive implications from this result when we look at the race for AFC spots and who will make it to the final series. A big shout out to our colleague Levi Verora for giving us the score update right there. You're catching this game on matchtoday.ph, and thank you for joining us. This is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this game. And let's see now how Mendiola will be able to utilize, or not utilize, but master the conditions that now favor them, since they are playing from right to left and Stallion playing from left to right. We're mentioning this again because of the wind blowing against one team, and it is blowing towards the attacking direction of the other. As Halo gets it now. He also gotta love his humility, or not humility, but his mindset. Because despite of them losing by a massive scoreline to Manila Digger, he continued to stay positive. Next thing you know, they bounced back. They got to upset Loyola, who were in the middle of the table, and were on a roll. So Halog and Mendiola did get to stop that winning streak, or unbeaten run of Loyola FC. They bagged the win, and now can they ride that wave and then get more results that favor them when they have this tough task facing a loaded Stallion Laguna squad who are still missing key players such as Fami Ibrahim, Mark Hartman, Del Mundo, and also Placito and Otoyemi. With Placito also their utility player who'd play in defense and in midfield. The play was resumed at the back by Habila. Stephen Hom covering things. Roberto Llamas got it and have to send it long. Note the wind conditions. This was exactly what we were saying earlier when Mendiola had to play against the wind. Now Finn McDaniel to chase, hoping to trouble Halog. Halog got tangled up while clearing that ball with Finn chasing. Ricky Sendra cleared that, it went to his head. Hamed saying handball, but when he looks at this replay, he'll see it hit the head of Ricky. Trying to take it down the left. Razonable, but Matt Nieras just gifted it to Hamed. Hamed did spend half the 2022-23 season with Stallion Laguna. Here comes Kuya Shraki. Kaliana Trujillo. Shraki has been connecting with Juan as of late. Juan shifting. He was down but almost won it. Did enough to delay the defense, the Mendiola attack. And it got into the boots of Shraki. This cross was stopped. Sirag Schaffner. It was loose from him. Hamed in the middle. Gets that chance to operate. Yes, Kigundu on the left, or they have Kigundu on the left. Stephen Hom gets it calmly at center back in this 3-5-2 of Stallion. Takatoku. And with Stallion being undermanned as of late, well, we look at it in perspective also. Their bench players are of quality. He sent it long into the box of Llamas. Takatoku cleared it. Only went as far as Tochigi. Yuta Tochigi did enter this game again in the early stages of the game. Quite early when we point out it's about 28th minute when he entered and subbed off Tarcisio. It's on to the left now with OJ Porteria. Pick your poison. OJ on the left, one on the right. Finn McDaniel, but it's sent away by Habila. And then there's this defense of Renia and Habila again. That is the center back pairing for Coach Dan Padernal. And there's Coach Ernie pictured. Kaliana Trujillo has given us a great number of corners in this game. But let's see how he'll be able to sort things out for them on the other side of the pitch. Here comes the ball from Juan. It was dealt with by Habela again. Balot tried to get it to his teammates. OJ read that number. Got to turn. Ricky Sendra. We can also recall actually that Ricky Sendra did play for Mendiola. That was after the transfer window in the 2019 PFL season. But Sendra, as a result of his quality, has become well-traveled when it comes to playing for different PFL teams here and there. But this is Ricky Sendra's second stint with Stallion. As Razonable will resume things, given that there was a foul for Laguna. It sends possession back the way of the Brave Men. Sent long, and it came off of Kigundu. And Takatoku gets it to Koichi Belgira. Belgira. Takatoku. One. Kaliana Trujillo still getting through. Cuts it back. But Finn McDaniel sends this out and about. And that ball literally went out actually. Or went past the fence right here at the Binyan Football Stadium. Here's a look again. A bit of the push. But Finn McDaniel could not get the ideal touch to that. This ball went to the half line. Just got some altitude, but it came off of Sea Dog Schaffner. But it will be Mendiola to continue. Well, that goal earlier of Ricky Sendra is his second of the season. And the last time Ricky Sendra did score was against Wantagig in the first round. Well, with assists, Abraham or Abe Placito is the leader of Stallion in that category. Oftentimes we'd see him connect with Finn McDaniel. But no Mr. Incredible here again. He picked up a straight red, so he's still serving that suspension. But right behind Placito in the assists category. There's Finn McDaniel, Charlie Beaton, and Fahmi Ibrahim with 2. Add Ricky Sendra to the list of players with 2 assists each. As it's a goal here for Laguna. Finn McDaniel gets that on the board. He's been knocking. They've been lurking. Sorry, Finn, no bonus points for that dance. And you're lucky that there's no minus points for the dance too. Well, here's Galliano Trujillo. And then it eventually went to Finn McDaniel. One putting in the work, showing us he has the physique too, or the physic ability to play physical. And we were just talking about assists at that point in time. And Galliano Trujillo gets his first of the season. And Finn McDaniel, on the other hand, when it comes to goal scoring, is now up to, or pushes his tally up to 8 goals. But quickly, Kigundu wanted to get up quickly. But from distance, trying to challenge Roberto Llamas. But it sails over the bar for Mueru. There was some promise here for Mendiola, and they are still in striking distance, actually. And as we say in this scenario, the next goal, the most important one. And there's Kigundu with that vision to find Mueru. But Llamas has been the keeper who's been a little more relaxed in this game as compared to Joshua Halog. As it's 2-on-1, Galliano Trujillo gets out muscled here this time around. It's different when it's 2-on-1. And Stephen Halm versus Balot. Llamas, it's the emergency button. Shraki being held by Renya. Hamed. And then referee Chris Mark Nanyola saying it was a foul. Coach Dan Padernal is livid, actually, in the technical area of Mendiola. Unhappy with some of the calls, it seems. And he's contesting that foul earlier at the half line. Well, as we've said, it hasn't been the season for Mendiola. Let's recall, actually, in the last PFL season where we had 15 teams compete, the 2024 season, Mendiola actually almost finished in the bottom 5. And the bottom 5 teams would be excluded from playing in this PFL season. It's the top 10 would only be retained. But the Brave Men got their act together then and continued, or had to earn the right to be retained in the PFL. And no relegation this season. As Renya had to get this out because of the pressure from Sea Dog Schaffner. Speaking of coaches, there's Coach Ernie in orange in the technical area on the right. As it's with Shraki. Got this one to OJ Porteria. But they're trying to come up with a stop. Galiana Trujillo was decked. Eljan Razonable got the job done in defense along with his back line of Renya, Habila, and Edulan. But this one just mishandled to their frustration. It seems Mendiola were not on the same page. Kigundu just sent this ball towards Llamas. That was an opportunity for them to come up with a quality chance up front. It was just gifted back though to the Stallion keeper. Here comes Sendra. Sees the space. Wanted to get it to Finn McDaniel. He has one goal. Will he make it two? Crosses it to OJ Porteria. OJ dribbling. And there was a folder from his defender, but it's a goal for OJ. We said he always had that shiftiness, that speed, despite of him now being a veteran. He never lost it. He's proving it to us. And OJ Porteria added again to boost this Stallion Laguna squad. And he made it 3-0 thanks to that effort. Got to shake off his defender in Keita Dulan. And OJ Porteria gets his first goal of the season. There's Kuya Shraki, one of his teammates, of course, in their previous years playing club football. The 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers right here. And we are at the 1 hour mark already, or we are 15 minutes into this second half. The first 15 minutes always crucial. And it's led to some, where it's been favoring Stallion Laguna as of late. As Hamed got this to the wing. Timothy Uy. On this routine again by Llamas. We were saying last time Llamas was trying to convince Philippines international Javi Mariona to play here in the Philippines. As Halog got to play it quickly. Mendiola once more losing steam. Out wide, Finn McDaniel calling for it. Sea Dog whipped in the cross, that came off a defender. Mahalo got to read it. Balot didn't get the best touch. It would have been perfect if he had support actually there up front. Shraki. Takatoku. Schaffner. That was loose. Could not play Porteria, one of our goal scorers this evening. And then there is a man down for Stallion Laguna, the team in pink and purple. And then Mendiola FC again, the team in red, white, and black. But it's Finn McDaniel who is handling free kicks for this evening, given there is no Mark Hartman. Oftentimes you'd see McDaniel on the receiving end of things, given that he's the team's top scorer. Right-footed delivery from Finn. Almost flicked though, and the follow-up by one. That would have been spectacular if that flick got in. But credit to Mendiola's defense for coming up with the stop there. But it's gotta hurt that Laguna got to bag or score off the rebound. Here was that dangerous ball. Ricky Sendra got that one on target. But Kalyana Trujillo made sure to clean up. Second goal here for one.
Stallion Laguna FC by player number 11, Kalyana Trujillo.
Earlier it was three different goal scorers for our three goals. But Kalyana Trujillo now with a brace. 4 goals in 2 games for the Mexican winger. McDaniel to Kalyana Trujillo. Shraki making a run for it. But here was the stop. And it was a foul here, it seems, according to Chris Mark Mendiola. Shraki showing some sportsmanship with Habila. Shraki was the man of the match for 10-man Stallion in that grinded out win versus the pesky youth national team. As it's a foot race now, over to the left. A play stopped. The play is stopped in particular because Balot was hit hard in a collision. That was a collision with Stephen Halm. Halm is coming back after serving suspension for missing a game. And of course, Balot's former teammates have to be concerned. That was the collision. Both trying to go for the ball. Well, Ham will have to be a bit more careful. And with that, Habila is giving his instructions to wait for the whistle. Hamed, dealt with by Ricky. We have some subs also waiting in the wings for Coach Dan Padernal because things aren't going well for them. Over to the right now. Mueru. And then it'll be a corner kick. We haven't really seen those from Mendiola, given that it's been Stallion in the attack. But will this change their luck when we talk about Hamed and the Brave Men? As it was dealt with by Nieras, one of those silent operators at the back for this club. That's game in and game out, year in and year out. Here comes Shraki. He has options, forward, left, and right. Finn McDaniel from Shraki sends it in a brace real quick for Finn McDaniel. What a classic setup from Stefan Schrock. And that's why they signed him up. Finn showing his appreciation. All smiles here. Splits the defense. Flag down there without a doubt. Finn McDaniel blasted it past. And the floodgates are opening here in favor of Laguna.
Stallion Laguna FC by player number 8, Griffin Color McDaniel.
There you go, just like that.
substitution for Mendiola FC 1991. Player number 19, Keith Dula, replaced by player number 16, Christian House. Player number 22.
So here's that change. Here's those changes again. And just to clarify, I beg your pardon, Juan Galeana Trujillo with 1 goal, and then Finn McDaniel already with 2. And after Coach Dan Padernal made some changes on his end, it'll be Coach Ernie Niera, so we'll roll the dice now. It'll be Charles Pickering and MJ Libre who will enter the game. But it seems that Stephen Holm and Roberto Llamas are setting up cruise control now at the back. Mendiola trying to carve out something. It's been a bit more difficult for them. So with our goal scorers, it is Ricky Sendra again who bagged the first goal. Finn McDaniel bagged the second and the 5th goal right here. OJ Portoria, Juan Galeana Trujillo also got to add goals of their own. It's to the left now. We've seen plenty of work from Edulan and Razonable, the fullbacks. Hamed versus Ricky. Quite a matchup with veteran midfielders. Hamed trying to play balot. Ham read that. Shraki surveys. So he had a man on him. Still does. And then it is offside right here against Juan Galeana Trujillo. 1 goal and 1 assist already for Juan Galeana Trujillo in this game. Well, here's the changes that we were anticipating earlier. And as we mentioned previously, there were changes initially made by Mendiola, and then now it is Stallion who will respond. OJ Porteria steps off for MJ Libre. 1 quick speedy player out. Another in with OJ Porteria entering.
Substitution for Stallion Laguna FC. Player number 9.
Well, here was a chance that was close but not quite when they whipped it into the goalkeeper box. And to the frustration in the Mendiola perspective, it is a no throw-in from the left wing for them. We did see that Eljan Razonable was lining up to send that one in, possibly long, in terms of replicating a cross or a bit like a corner kick. Galeana Trujillo gets this. Playing it long, McDaniel. That touch just a bit too heavy. But Libre eventually scores here. Instant impact. MJ Canicosa Libre. One quick dribbler out. And OJ Porteria being subbed off after putting in a solid shift. And MJ Libre giving instant impact here to Stallion Laguna. There's a bit of that heavy touch, and you gotta credit MJ Libre for putting himself in the right place at the right time. And Libre thrilled. And that is actually his first goal here for Laguna. A debut, or not a debut goal, but a maiden goal for Libre. Now it's 6-0. And it is Ricky Sendra ending his day. And there's Charles Pickering He's being placed in attacking mid, or in the attacking midfielder role. Here comes Pickering. He's trying to replicate what MJ Libre did. When we talk about instant impact, you could argue that was the case because he did find Libre for that shot that was stopped by the defense, and then it's a corner kick. But with the way this game is going, this result in the bag, it's cruise control. Everything has to be set except for the final score. What a game also from Galiana Trujillo. Well, there's a foul spotted by Chris Mark Mendiola, our referee this evening. And we are about 15 minutes in added 15 minutes plus added time away from the full-time whistle. And a big thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening at the Binyan Football Stadium. You're catching this game on matchday.ph. Clara Manzano here to bring the commentary for this match. And coming out of the halftime break, it's been all Stallion Laguna, forwarding goals here and there. And we're just getting further confirmation on the substitution of Stallion, with Charles Pickering entering for Ricky Sendra. And this one will head out. Mendiola getting a chance to get forward, but it hasn't been their day, as we've mentioned. And we can confirm once more with that goal of MJ Libre earlier, and it's also his first goal of the season, other than that being his maiden goal for Stallion. Libre did play for Maharlika in the first half of this ongoing tournament. Here comes Libre to Shraki. Shraki lost that one. And they play it to Balot. And then read well by Nieras. The Stallion team familiar with Balot as much as Balot is familiar with them. Clockwork at the back. Three defenders versus one attacker of Mendiola. It's Reggie Sulit playing up front with Balot. Reggie Sulit did enter the game earlier. So Renya will just try to see this one off with Joshua Halog. And the day where Mendiola entered with optimism, coming off that upset win over Loyola FC last week. They're hoping to spring up another upset, but this one to no avail, given they find themselves in this 6-0 hole. Ricky Sendra broke the ice again. Sendra did score late in the first half to make it 1-0, and there was pretty much no looking back at that point in time. Roberto Llamas is taking his time to set this one up, as they are 13 minutes away. They are 13 minutes away from eventually closing this game out. Do note again, there is stoppage or injury time. Pickering from Nieras. Two homegrown players, of course, who have grown up in Metro Manila, we could say. Pickering did also spend time playing overseas. That was in his latter years of high school. Two more subs waiting in the wings for Coach Dan, and they will enter potentially in the next dead ball. And then it is a throw in here, but after that nasty or tough hit, it is Koichi Belgira. It's not looking good because it's to the face of Koichi. And that ball did graze his face. Yes, that's not really a direct hit. It still grazed him, but that definitely hurts. But there was the intention to cross the ball and not target Koichi. Not a graze, but it directly hit Koichi. That was the worst case. He's definitely shaken up by that. You could see the look on him though, on his left, on the right side of your screen. He is frustrated to take off that captain's armband. Hamed Jajimadi will be subbed off. That rarely happens actually. And we got Habis Mubarak and Park Seo-yom who will enter the game. But with the way we are looking at this now, Mendiola, we could say, are keen on spoiling the clean sheet of Stallion Laguna and their goalkeeper Roberto Llamas, given it is a 6-0 hole that they find themselves in. Just a bit of that extra stretching from Park Seo-yom. And Hamed steps off. He calls it a day after about 80 minutes. And after this stoppage, or this stoppage still continues for Koichi Belgira, it's not looking good. It's not looking good with Koichi still down on the ground. And Belgira's really established ownership when it comes to being in the starting 11 for Stallion, where he's really established his presence as one of the shoe-ins. And it seems that Sea-Dog, Schaffner, and Shraki will step off. Yeah, it seems like it. But Shraki's had to put in the work in their last games also, with them being trimmed to 10 men. So David Yeboah will check in for Koichi Belgira, it seems. And there's Masaya Watanabe entering alongside Charlie Yancy Beaton. And they are unloading the bench here. And it's the bench being unloaded here again for Coach Cherney. Here comes the corner. There was the defensive header. Follow up. Went into the path of the defense. And this is a loaded Stallion roster, as we've seen. And really been beefing up the team over the past years. Team owners, Coach Ernie Nieras and Coach Clint McDaniel, sure put in the work when it comes to recruiting. And a great number of Stallion players there's a great number of players all over the league who have gone through the Stallion pipeline. That shows again their knack for recruiting. It's Llamas, a rare occasion where he has to just kill the momentum of Mendiola. Struggling to get distance with that volley kick, given the conditions as we've said. And Joshua Halog did have to face the same challenges when he was playing earlier, or when Mendiola were playing from left to right. That's the windy conditions again, which pretty much blow diagonally from the bottom right corner in your broadcast perspective over to the top left corner, or the further corner kick flag. And it seems Koichi Belgira has a nosebleed. But he is walking. But that knack definitely shook him up. We can expect Koichi Belgira to recover quickly from that one. We wish him all the best, of course. Stephen Holm hitting the deck here. And with his defensive presence, it's often Stephen Holm who is the player banging bodies with opponents here and there. Seven minutes and change remaining right here at the Binyan Football Stadium before we will wrap up our doubleheader. Earlier today, you did see Manila Digger hit cruise control late in the game to defeat, or late in the second half to defeat the youth national team. That was 7-1. Well, let's take a look at our PFL calendar for the rest of the day. So tomorrow we will have Maharlika Taguig and Davao Aguila square off at 4 p.m. our curtain raiser. And at 7, we will have Loyola FC, who will look to bounce back against Taguig FC. As they wanted to play it to the middle to Beaton. But there was the pressure, or there was the defensive presence of Habila. Well, Libre trying to cause havoc. But his polo of Takatoku was red. You have to credit Mendiola here. They're trying to come up with something. And it's sent long by Mubarak. Nieras to chase. But there was some token pressure from Reggie Sulit that the Stallion defense got to handle. We are running through confirmations. Or we are running through the confirmation of our subs once more. And it's one in the midfield. McDaniel dropping down. Getting it to MJ Libre. Great vision. Let's see now what the Brave Men can do. They've been able to build up a bit in the back, but can't get past the midfield. And as a result of that foul, it is a free kick that is actually from Finn McDaniel range. He has 2 goals so far. We know he wants his hat trick. And while we are talking about that, there is Alvin Nerbadulia waiting in the wings. But first Finn shoots. Doesn't score. A chance on the follow-up. Pickering gets denied though by Halog. But that effort or that bit to counter-attack and play Balot is thwarted by Stephen Halm. Yaboa got it to the left with MJ Libre. Galiana Trujillo gets stopped though here. But despite of the Brave Men struggling in this game, Habila has put in an effort for them. Here's another look at this free kick from McDaniel. It was denied by Halog. And then Pickering came close in the follow-up. We can see, of course, that Halog's given his all. But they are unable to utilize that momentum from the last game. Galiana Trujillo, the corner. The defensive header sends it back to him. Still with 1. Pickering wanted to play in the tight space. The intention was there, but the defense also read it. Balot hit it to the wing. It was a tough effort to get forward. And it's traffic once more going the way of Laguna. And we have goalkeeper Alvin Rebadulia who is about to check into the game. And Rebadulia was previously with Taguig FC. And this is going to be his debut with Stallion Laguna. When we are looking at his records, Pickering couldn't slide it to Beaton. Great switch over to the further end. There's Reggie Sulit, an option available, but it was to no avail here. And Llamas clears it away. And Habila wants to get it back into the mix, and that's why it is being chased down by Parks Yoyong, but to no avail. It's been that type of day for the Brave Men. So Roberto Llamas is down. He's holding on to what seems to be his hamstring. And as we are nearing added time, Alvin Rebadulia enters the game to make his debut. This is his debut with Stallion Laguna. He is no stranger to the Philippine football circuit. And Rebadulia did play for Club de Football Manila under Stephen Schrock. That was in the Copa. As we are seconds away from getting additional time. Three minutes of additional time, as confirmed by Aldous Mirafuentes, our fourth official. So with this scoreline, Alvin Rebadulia will make his Stallion Laguna debut. From what I recall correctly also, he did not make any appearances for One Taguig. So this is essentially his PFL debut also, as he is hitting the pitch and getting minutes. But it's one here, Watanabe. Gets it back to Takatoku, who is who is on the verge of playing the full 90. Well, you can argue he hit that mark already, given we are in added time, but you want to play from whistle to whistle. We're talking about kickoff all the way to full time. But it's an impending result for Laguna. And Stallion keeping their final series hopes alive. You have to finish in the top four again to make it to the playoffs. That is how we will determine the champion right here in the Philippines Football League 2024-2025 season. And Finn McDaniel over to MJ Libre. Getting stopped. And it's to no avail there for Laguna. But it is a denial for the Brave Men. Less than a minute away until we confirm this result. Let's do recall that there was our matchup that was also played in Cebu. It was, or we did get to see the defending champs, Sky FC Iloilo, bag a 2-1 win over the Gentle Giants. And that goal of Cebu actually in that loss to Kaya was late already in additional time or in stoppage time in the second half. And Jan Meliza and Lucas Del Rosario came away as the goal scorers for Kaya. And in the curtain raiser right here, the Binyan Football Stadium, there's Kevin Ebene Mukata, who came away as the goal scorer, or the man of the match rather. And Kevin Ebene Mukata, of course, was a force on offense. He did get to score 4 goals when you refer to the Manila Digger player of the match or man of the match. That is eventually the full-time whistle right here at the Binyan Football Stadium to wrap up your Saturday action. A 6-0 W right here for Stallion Laguna over the brave men of Mendiola FC 1991. And we are going to honor our man of the match in a bit also. Just stand by and stay with us. Our goal scorers again. There's Finn McDaniel who led scoring. OJ Portria had a goal. Juan Caliana Trujillo is our man of the match thanks to his goal. Well, not just because of his goal, but because of his playmaking abilities from the wing. And he also did get involved in offense as that creator. After bagging, or after coming up with a solid performance in that grinded out win versus the youth national team, Juan Diego Caliana Trujillo, the Mexican winger of Stallion, continues his fine form. Not just as a scorer, but also as a creator. Hence, he is our man of the match right here. Also with a solid effort that he put up on the wing for our winners today. Confirmation of our goal scorers again. There's Ricky Senja. Finn McDaniel bagged the breaks also. OJ Portria, Juan Caliana Trujillo, and MJ Canicosa Libre also bagged goals to make it 6-0. And Stallion Laguna, as we've said, keep their top 4 hunt well alive. Now we will sign off from this game and from this day, actually, right here, a doubleheader, the Binyan Football Stadium this Saturday in your Philippines Football League 2024-2025 season. And this was Claro Manzano, your commentator for this one. And we will sign off as we've said, and it ends Stallion Laguna 6, Mendiola 1991 0.